Some of you all are interested in suicide, okay? So for those of you that are interested in suicide and spirituality, but you're not suicidal, this video is for you. If you are suicidal, you need to go ahead and click the X button at the top left corner or the top right, if you're using a Mac, or the top right corner of this video, and call the suicide hotline, because bitch, you need some help. All right, now with that being said, we're going to be looking into if suicide can be written into our soul contract. So if you're not familiar with a soul contract is, then you need to go to google.com. That's www.google.com and type in the word soul contract and do some research. So I'm going to just go ahead and do a bone reading to see if suicide can be written into your soul contract. Okay. Now, if suicide be written into your soul contract? There's an open carry over the penny. So Barone is coming through and he's saying that this is a stupid ass question. He doesn't feel like this question actually has much value, and he doesn't feel like it has much intellectual value because it's not really going to help any of you all that are suicidal. There's a closed carry over the best price, so he does not think that it is best to even inquire about this question, because some of you all may not be happy to learn the answers about why it is that you will die or how it is that you will die. These are questions that perhaps it's better to not know than to know and not do. There's a penny over the quarter, so they're saying there's little intellectual value here, and although there's little intellectual value in this question, there's a lot that needs to be said. There's a lot that needs to be said because there's a nickel over the wedding rings. People should be more focused on the unions that are written into their soul contracts, because the unions are obviously, as what we know, when two become one, they are just a lot more powerful, okay? Typically, people commit suicide when they feel alone, or they feel like, hey, I don't have anyone else around me to help me get through this problem. They may feel suicidal because of some of a genetic disorder. But in regards to this being written into your soul contracts, focus more on unions being written into your soul contracts than anything else. There's a penny and a typewriter over the graduation cap. So if you commit suicide, you will not graduate. You will reincarnate, and you will perhaps reincarnate as a lower level entity. So you may reincarnate as a poor person. You may reincarnate as one of President Donald Trump's children. You may reincarnate as a frog. So as far as it being written into your soul contract, what's guaranteed is that if you don't fulfill your purpose, you cannot ascend. There's a nickel over the no speed limit. So this is saying that and there's an open calorie over the dead end. So once you commit suicide, I think that you're going to skip many steps in the afterlife. I don't think that you're going to read from you will experience anything that was talked about from the Book of the Dead written by the ancient Egyptians, nor do I think that you will even be judged. I think that you will go through a very quick reincarnation process, almost like a lottery, where it's like you spin the wheel and that's what you're going to reincarnate as. Wherever the arrow lands is what you'll get. Now there's a genie lamp and two closed calories. So this is over the unity token. So if you commit suicide and essentially, if you commit suicide, this is what you can expect. You will not be united with your racial ancestors, your community ancestors, or even your family ancestors. I think that you're going to be assigned to a whole nother unit of spiritual beings. And that's something that you should consider, especially in terms of kinship and having to learn about new deities, a new family. There's also a closed calorie here over the hypnotic bottle. So there's so in terms of your soul contract and in suicide being written into it, it's possible, but it's highly unlikely, and it would serve damn near no purpose. Now, what is written into people's soul contracts is a premature death, or infant mortality. All right, those things are written into a soul contract, but not suicide, because suicide is something that you're choosing to do. All right, and you cannot role model good behavior with suicide for people. You're not Romeo or Juliet. Now there's an action token over the makeup symbol. So this means that you're not going to be able to make up any lost time once you do commit suicide. In addition to that, this is how we know that suicide cannot be written into your soul contract, because it's not helping you to progress. It's not helping for the purposes of ascension. It's not making the universe more intelligent. Okay? You're distracting the universe, and you're delaying it from completing its mission, which is to live through everybody and to live through everything and to live through itself in a very meta way. Okay, there's a closed cowrie over the swan, and it falls over the marionette doll. So this means that you are casting your pearls unto swine by you committing suicide via the soul contract. And there's a two of the crossroads over the marionette doll. So this means that you have a choice. No one is pulling your strings. No demon is going to make you commit suicide. No soul contract can define that for you. It is your choice, and you have the resources to do so, to make sure that you don't commit suicide. If you're watching this video and you live in a first world country, you need to see a therapist. The powers token is over the Black Panther. So this means that you're not going to be made more powerful. You cannot be a community ancestor that helps to where your energy can be drawn upon by people that are living, and those people that are living can change the cosmos using your energy. That can't happen because there's a dime over the Black Power tile, and the dime also falls over the jinx. So you have jinxed yourself. You've jinxed your bloodline. Okay, you're pretty much useless. Mm-hmm. You're useless. You're just a corpse. Okay, your corpse. If you've committed suicide, your corpse serves more, and this is how Barone is giving it to me. Your corpse serves more of a purpose than your soul does at that point, because at least your soul can fertilize the earth. Okay, so there's a protection stone over the chicken, so you're a coward. If you think that suicide can be written into your soul contract, that's an excuse to navigate away from your greatness. There's an open cowrie over the beehive, so this is a trend. Suicide is a social trend, okay? This is not to say it's a fad, but it is a social trend, all right? It is an epidemic. Yes, there are epidemiological factors that we need to look at, but this is a spiritual reading. So, go to another video if you're looking for the public health reasons as to why suicide happens. But they're saying that this is a social trend, and you're just going with the flow of, you've heard somebody else do it, you saw somebody else do it, you thought that this was going to work, or you thought that this was the only way out. And that's a lie. You're lying to yourself. You're deluding yourself. The universe had a bigger plan for you than for you to kill yourself, which is common sense. There's the ancestors token over the microphone. So they're yelling this shit loudly. Okay, and the turtle is on its back. So they're loudly saying that, you are way off course to think that they have written that into your soul contract. There is a romance, there is the heart over the stork. So this is saying that not only does suicide alter your reincarnation process, it renders you infertile when you reincarnate. So some of you that are infertile may have had past lives where you killed yourself. And you need to think about that, because whether you were a mother whether you are a mother, father, or a parent, whatever, you left behind children that needed to be reared, no matter how old they were. Or if you weren't a parent, then you were a body that was supposed to make sure that other souls could incarnate and be born into this earth, and you didn't do that at the very least. So no, you're going to be rendered infertile and have trouble raising children in your next lifetime. And that's one of the consequences of blaming suicide on your soul contract. Another consequence of blaming suicide on your soul contract, I get an open calorie over the Wi-Fi, the wise man of wisdom over the Wi-Fi, and then the spiritual token is pointing north. The spiritual token is pointing north. I'll explain that in a second. But the open calorie and the wise man over the Wi-Fi, these two things here would be saying that they're saying very loudly, you don't have you're gonna lose a connection to your ancestors. You're gonna lose out on all of the wisdom from previous lifetimes that you've acquired, and perhaps it's going to be difficult for any other psychic readers or priests to divine your destiny because you committed suicide in that previous lifetime. So you're going to be walking with a blank canvas in this world, and that's not okay, because you lack stamina, you lack experience, you lack wisdom, you lack direction, you lack connection. These are the consequences of committing suicide. All right, so I'm also saying here Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, again, is not going to save you. Okay? Jesus Christ can provide you with a very nurturing feeling, an incredibly nurturing feeling, and you can feel as close to the Lord as you want to, and feel almost as though you will be forgiven for your sins on the other side, but you will not see Jesus. It is only a feeling. And these things are I know this to be true because the quarter and the mother fall right over Jesus Christ. And then there's a bicycle that falls over Jesus Christ. So this is talking about astral travel, okay? And we're talking about astral travel. Guess where you're going to travel to? You ain't traveling to anywhere that's going to teach you how to reincarnate. You're going to travel to purgatory or an even lower heaven. You'll damn near be in hell. That's why they're going to send you back to earth so quickly. Because, I mean, aren't we living hell on earth here when you really think about it? So, that being said, there is, let's see what else I get here. Oh, over Barone. Barone is calling you weak because the strength token and the courage token falls over Barone. And then there's a 3 of action. So, you took the wrong actions. You weak as hell. And you and you're going to be a weak ass ancestor. So if you have ancestors that committed suicide and them motherfuckers wasn't in shackles trying to make sure that your ass wasn't enslaved, then guess what, bitch? You got weak ass ancestors, and you're gonna be a weak ass ancestor by trying to commit suicide. You need to call the hotline. As a matter of fact, when this video ends, I'm gonna have I'm going to have the suicide hotline prevention number as it follows at the end of this video to make sure that y'all can get the help that y'all need. All right. There is the romance tile, an open calorie, the woman, and these are over the black plague. So this is saying that in terms of being able to access feminine energy, you're going to have a very difficult time doing that. Once you have committed suicide, that if you are having trouble with relationships, you're having trouble having friendships, you can't seem to have a good relationship with your family. Now, we're not talking about masculine energy like fucking, okay? So you can probably get some dick. You ain't got no problem getting some pussy. That's no problem. But if you have issues just having a wholesome, intimate relationship with the people around you and you're experiencing loneliness, then perhaps that's a symptom of you committing suicide in a previous lifetime and thinking that it was written into your soul contract. So those are some of the consequences of it. So no, these things cannot be written into your soul contract. You are delusional if you think they can be written into your soul contract. The purpose of you were not given a life so that it can be taken by any man, especially yourself. Okay? And that's all that needs to be said. Make sure you call the lifeline.
If you need help, call the lifeline.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when